episode 24. Yeah, so, geez. Yeah, episode 24 is really exciting. It's really cool to be here in this spot and all that we've been able to do. Last episode we had some really cool stuff. Again, we got the second episode here with Michael. It's been really a treat to have as part of what we're doing here. Starting with announcements, I think the only big one that we've got is, yes, we are doing our giveaway for those coffee-painted dice pictures that, again, Stephen will put up. We were doing the magic thing. Imagining these future pictures being added in is wonderful. But again, two ways to enter for that. One is to follow us on Twitter and to retweet the giveaway tweet, and then the other is to subscribe to our YouTube and comment on the giveaway video. So if you have not had a chance to do that yet, please do, and we will pick one random person from both of those so that each will get an opportunity to win that there. Tell your friends, but then also don't, so that you have a better chance of winning, but then also how cool it'd be if you knew somebody else who won, or it could be you. After that, let's do our recap of the last...
Just make a copy of it.
Yes. Oh, wow. Amazing. Don't cheat the system.
Yeah, don't take money away from starving artists like Dan's mom.
Support your local artists. Support my mom.
Support your local Dan's mom.
Support your local mom. Find a guy whose name's Dan.
Can that be the episode title? No. Support your local Dan's mom.
Yes, it is. So Steven, future Steven, make this happen. So, the recap.
Not you.
No, the future you. The better version of you.
Future. Well, let me go check in with future Steven. Yeah, he's excited. The recap of the last episode. I missed what Joey said, but I can't wait to hear that.
I just said wait. You just said wait and made a face. That's it.
Let me check on my future, Dan. Yeah, Joey's really funny. So, the recap of the last episode is, so Thule died to a venom troll, and everyone was surrounding her trying to take care of her and bring her back. When that was unsuccessful, Gwendolyn shouldered her as they braved the woods to get back to Populous. On the way back to Populous, Wolfie / Lorelith and Gwendolyn heard the whimpers of a sad fox. And once they kind of figured out what that fox was sad about, it was a Thelon stuck in a goblin trap. And so they got Thelon down, severed his spine, probably around the C2 area, and then make sure he was okay. But then very quickly heard goblin sounds following the loud crash. Thelon used some magic and conjured up some magical mushrooms that then helped the party stealth, as well as Sally, as well as Lorelith.
We're running the same, truly.
Yeah. Using some nature knowledge to provide herself some protection as well. Eventually we got to Populous and rushed into Populous to then find what is the safest and best way to take care of our fallen comrade. To do that, we tried the brass star, almost met a new person, but did not like them very much. So then decided, wait, no, let's get out of here. Let's not even answer the question that they asked. We have more important things to do.
Our friend was dead. It's an urgency, not an etiquette.
Somewhere, a sad elf is sitting in their shop closing out.
We've burned a bridge.
But then... Hunkle greeted the party at the Burness estate. Misery led them there so that he could ask his dad if the work that he does with the business with the sword and shield would allow them to have their friend Thule back. He obliged and said that he would ask Misery to replace the stone somehow, but with that he was able to perform whatever ritual or thing was needed to get that stone to do its magic. And then Thule was brought back. Scrambled up from the floor up to the table and was very happy and thankful to see the rest of the party while Thelon and Lorelith were killing some dandelions, and then the party regrouped in the garden, and Thule gave Lorelith a big old hug that made Lorelith a little bit uncomfy. So this is where we find.
But to be clear, in real life, Sally loves hugs, hug her all the time.
Please.
She really likes it.
Oh.
I don't like physical touch.
I really don't.
Really don't.
That's okay, I don't like it.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, yeah.
So the party's in the garden. It is
Garden party!
Huh? Garden party?
Garden party!
Garden thing?
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's garden party, that's the thing.
Oh.
Down Abbey.
Throwing rocks in.
Oh. It is sundown now. It's been enough time that it is pitch black. The garden is lit by some sconces and stuff there, and the garden is a garden party for real now. Ain't no party like a...
You didn't even know what a garden party was.
I was just gonna say, ain't no party like a Downton Abbey party.
What?
Don't you speak that name until you've seen all of this.
Downtown Abbey.
No.
Oh, Joey's seen it.
I've seen it.
They start every episode by doing that.
Downtown Abbey.
Some random person yodels the name of the
Here's
show.
our garden party.
I mean, that's basically the show.
Diving into a different fantasy world.
Downtown.
A surprise, name it.
Everyone is grouped up in the garden, and it is sundown. You all are exhausted, but you have the town and wherever you want to go next before you do rest.
We have
for
the
the
town, bro.
I mean,
what's a fella gonna do? What were you gonna say?
Can I formally meet Felon?
Yeah.
No.
yeah, go.
I think only like
Yeah, I was
half of
gonna
us
talk about
have.
Felon too. Yeah,
Right?
good.
Did you call him Felon with an F?
I called him down.
Okay.
Joey, are you drunk?
No. I'll pretty awkwardly introduce myself, but like shake your hand and say, I'm Gwen. Sorry we didn't really get to chat before now. This is Thule. She was the one that was dead, but she's good now. What was your name?
Felon.
Felon.
It's nice to
Nice
meet
to meet you. What's your fox's name?
Oma. She's very sweet.
It's a very nice name.
Is
Gwen doesn't cry no more.
is Gwen still at 1 health?
She is.
She says this to you from the ground. Nice to meet you. That's a lovely name.
I noticed that she is so obviously very injured. And after our introduction, can I offer to use a healing word on her?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I roll a d4.
Yeah.
Which one is that? That's healing. Yeah.
If you want to also, within your character's like realm of the way they use magic and stuff, like what would a healing word be? Like what would you say? What would the thing that you say be that heals somebody?
You're not a very talkative guy.
It can be sing-songy. I know that's kind of your character, but...
I would probably
It can be Millie. No.
it would probably say I'd probably say something along the lines of do I have a god that I follow?
That's up to you. Yeah, I don't think we've really talked about that.
I feel like I'd probably just believe in the healing power of nature.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I would just say something like nature's gift or this is nature's gift.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Love it.
Cool.
Pals.
Girls. BFFs.
I serve the one knowledge.
All right.
Is that what Missouri does?
Whoa, is it the top number?
Missouri's
So it's a
extremely
30?
rebellious.
Yeah, plus
in
your
his
wisdom,
family
which is a
and his
4.
rich.
Yeah, 3 plus 4.
So you heal 7.
Wow.
Whoa.
And as he says, this is nature's gift, you can see some more of those like mushrooms just kind of appear over his armor. And then those light green, like translucent spores just come over towards you. And so to heal up some of your wounds and you feel a bit more energy than you had before.
Oh. Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Do I have any salve left?
You have 1 left.
I have 1 left.
You have one.
Here's what I'm deciding between everyone. Not that you need to know. Wolfie has 2 hit points left. You now have more than 2 hit points left.
and it's
Also,
Does the
evening,
salve
right?
work on Wolfie?
it does, but it's also evening in the sense that like when you all do
Yeah.
rest for the night and do your normal patching up, you fully heal.
What if we fight
Will
something at
Wolfie
bedtime?
fully heal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just avoid bars.
And we're close to the
back.
city, right?
You're in the city.
We're in
Okay.
the city.
I didn't know if they were.
Yeah.
We're so close to the city that we're in this.
Yeah, we're about to go.
Can't get close.
Forget anything I just said.
Thule is gonna walk up to Felon and like she has no awareness of personal space or anything. She's just gonna get way too close and like offer to shake her hand and say, "I'm Thule."
I shake my hand and just nod.
Wow.
Or I shake your hand and just nod.
It is so great to meet you. And she's not phased at all by the lack of talking. She's like, that's an interaction well had.
Cool.
Wow.
Incredible.
Best interaction ever.
And then Tuli's gonna go, she's gonna kind of look up at the sky and go, Misery.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a show tonight?
Oh my god! Yes.
Should we? Can we make it?
I can probably swing it. What time is it when you look at the sky?
Wow.
Is it sun time?
I think it's
nighttime.
about like halfway through your show time.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Let's go check it out at least.
That's
And we'll find out
fashionable.
how much
Okay.
it's done.
Tuli is like crouched into a sprint, ready to
I'm
run
gone.
with you.
I
Okay,
think-
she's gone too.
Get wrecked.
Gwen is not doing well. So, 8, better now. But I think Gwen would say, like, Misery, I'll come to your show. I need just some time to recoup. I'll be there later. Okay, so you go. Do you mind, would it be cool if Thelen needs to rest and recoup, could he take Cicero's bed in your room at the
Yeah.
Elisa Regional?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot Cicero's done.
Go do your show. Break a leg.
Now he's sad.
Break
Even
a
I'm sad.
break a loop.
If anyone's notes were better than mine, I think last night was your last night at the Elisa Regional.
It was.
Paid for.
It was.
Okay, so
Oh,
you're
I
welcome
had
to
one
pay for
more.
rooms again. Just like it would be at a point where you need
Looks
to.
like we're staying at the Burness Mansion tonight.
Oh, I doubt.
Cool.
Is Cicero's house?
We'll figure it out later.
That was like a 2-week thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
It has
it's not
been
done yet.
A day. It hasn't even been one evening yet.
okay.
Yeah. Conversations are starting about maybe rebuilding it.
I was tracking.
If you don't remember, we're really bad at moving story along.
That sounds right.
Is Misery carrying his guitar with him?
Yeah.
Can I kind of nudge him and flick him a wooden pick
Yeah.
that I made for him when I was
Aw.
outside? Just to say I noticed your guitar and just flick it to you.
Oh, thanks. Did you whittle this yourself?
I did whittle it.
That's sick.
I whittled Cicero something.
Go have fun without me, or come to my show. But my show will be fun, so I'm gonna go.
So we don't have a place to stay tonight.
You could secure one, but at this
Okay,
point, no.
scratch that. I didn't say
Okay.
those things.
Okay.
I guess.
Tuli's like running backwards. Meet at Smash Pods!
Smash Pods! Yeah!
Pilgrim kind of like smells nods and like waves for a second.
We'll find somewhere to stay!
Then I'm gonna just look to Gwen and it's like, would you like me to wait until you're ready to join, or?
I really don't know if I can handle. I don't feel well. I don't. Thelen, are you interested in a musical gig? Is that
Not really.
okay? That seemed up your alley.
See ya.
Can we just like go
Also
somewhere like
happy.
quiet to just like? Is there a park? Is there just like a
Oh.
little
Yeah,
park?
there is
Oh
the-
my gosh, not that place. Can we not go there?
Huh?
Like,
With the purple trees? I hate that place.
You do. There is a garden up in front of the government castle. But it's a place that has a fountain and then a couple of ponds. But most of or all of the like foliage of it is like white barked with purple leaved trees that you'll walk through. It is very peaceful. Just more of the
but we don't know Lorelith's aversion to it. I
Yeah.
think you were alone with the person.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to just take a breather. A lot has happened. As Misery's PR manager, I should go to the show eventually. But I just need a moment. If anybody would like to head to the park with me.
I say that I'll join.
I would be happy to. You can color me traumatized. So I am ready for some peace and
And
quiet.
that color is Pacifi's. I mean, Tuli and Misery have already taken off, so. What
Yeah, I'm not
do you hate more? Loud music?
I
or
know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Or if I just want to be by myself.
Would you
which I don't
rather?
want to do. I begrudgingly follow them to the garden.
Great. Well, let's see the garden first. So, your group continues to head southward, and though it is dark, there are government-provided very large bowls of fire, where just about at the edge on the main road heading towards the garden, the edge of that light, as soon as it starts to get dim, usually the light of the next one picks up. And about 1 in every 4 of those, there is some form of guard posted to just make sure that things are at peace and taken care of overnight. And so you cross by the main path and walk through all of that till you eventually get to the garden.
My intention is like short rest here.
Yeah.
Also, if it's guards, it's probably like not chill to like wash the mud from our faces in the fountain?
Oh no, you could.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
just
Take the time to
refresh a
just
little bit.
patch up and kind
I
of take
thought we
care.
already got cleaned up by the magic
fire.
fire.
Right.
Oh
but-
yeah,
Yes.
let us clean up from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just a refresh.
Any conversations or anything that this group wants to have while you have a moment to collect yourselves and just think or talk with your new ally?
I'm visibly frustrated.
Eyes burning at the trees.
I'm pissed. I hate this place.
I'll mind link with Laura. Is everything all right?
No.
Do you have any interest in elaboration?
This place is not the way that nature intended, and it makes me angry.
You
I
mean
don't
to
like
say
be here.
that these trees were not meant to be purple?
Correct.
Uh,
No.
The tr- yeah,
The trees are purple. All of these things exist in nature. They don't exist here in nature.
The concept of a garden is upsetting to you.
No.
Gardens.
Do gardens represent white privilege to you? Because I've had a lot of articles about that.
No. As we mentioned briefly earlier, and as you know from me by now, I like nature to be the way that it was intended. This place was very much manufactured and man-made by somebody. I don't want to say the government. I don't think she really has concept of government yet still. By somebody, and it's not supposed to be here. And so it's a
Affront
yeah, that's the word.
to nature.
To nature and to me. I feel disrespected by the place that I'm in right now.
Can Pilgrim link with the trees?
They're not alive.
There has to be a creature that can like communicate back in some way.
Okay.
They can be trees.
So he links with the trees and they go whoosh. I'm purple!
You'd be someone who
See if I have
speak
that.
with life.
Well, Laura, it is a testament of your friendship that you're willing to suffer the affront that is this manufactured abomination for the sake of being with half of the half dozen.
I hate this less than Missouri's loud music.
This is fair.
And I didn't want to be alone, so do it that way you will.
Gruff.
I walk out to the side, I pull out my stick, and I start whittling something.
Whittling away.
Angrily. Very frustratedly. No, I take one of the tree's limbs and start whittling that.
Whoa.
It's the tree's fault that they're there.
There's this moment where one of the guards does see you like go over to do it and you just rip it down and then like as he's like, hey, and then you just look at him and he's like, carry on.
Also, Michael, if you didn't know, I'm covered in animal furs and have a skull being worn on my head, so I'm a very scary looking person.
Okay.
That's me. This is me.
Whoa. She's spooky.
That one were you gonna do versus?
What type of stuff do I have with me? Do I have anything I can roll up into a pillow besides what I'm wearing? Or?
Yeah, you'd have like a bedroll in part of your pack and stuff.
I probably would move off to the side of the park. I don't know if there are other city folk in there, but I would say after the day that I've had meeting a lot of people, I don't intend to meet anyone else, and so I don't go too far from them because I do feel like I've built a little bit of a relationship with them, but I'm not the type of person that would necessarily say that to them.
Yeah.
So I stay close, but take my boots off and roll up and just kind of lay down.
Cool.
I
Yeah,
like
and
that.
this feels kind of nature-ish, right? Because of the garden, the way that it's set up with mostly trees. Like, it's weird that you're in the middle of the city, but here is a spot that is like kind of like created nature within the city.
Okay.
I'll offer him like some of my rations, some of my jerky that I never got to give the cave wolves without saying anything. I'm just gonna hand you a little snack.
some. He's hungry.
Did you want to add anything as well, or is this good?
No, I would say just after the interaction with Laura, Pilgrim just kind of sits down on a bench or whatever and just kind of has a moment alone with his thoughts a little bit.
It's very calm, tranquil. peaceful time that you all just take to yourselves, take a moment of introversion, and just process. This has been a lot. Today has been so many different things happening. Cicero staying back at the lab and just kind of thinking about him and everything that was learned there, and then also on the way back, losing Tuli and then getting her back. And so the weight of all of that is kind of sitting on all of you. Thelen more just trying to get back to just some peace and quiet as your own personality and style as well. All right. Misery and Julie.
Enough of that.
Anyways, time to ride.
I like to imagine the camera shoots from this little bit of cricket chirping to that hard cut. Yeah.
Can we go ahead and short rest?
Sure, yeah. If you need a short rest, I mean a long rest is pending soon too. But if you want to go through the logistics of doing that, in case anything happens, you can go for that.
Just don't get in the bar.
We're not at the
Speaking of Tuli, getting to. So Misery and Tuli start rushing across the city, heading towards the heading towards Smash Pods. Misery, you can hear the beats of music and stuff going on inside. Any conversations y'all have as you're running over?
Just running and screaming at the same time. Like, ah! Let's get there.
Do you think they'll still let you play?
Oh my gosh. I hope so. I practiced so much for this. I did so good in rehearsal.
They'll let you play. I'm like a solid 75% sure.
I had a sick solo on one of the first couple songs. I'm glad you care so much.
I do. I love your band.
I know.
Like, so much.
Like everyone should.
Right. I would agree with that.
Alright, so you get into Smash Pods, and as you open the door, you can see that it's a pretty packed crowd, that a lot of people have been brought here. Misery, this is the most people you've seen at Smash Pods for us, which you've only done, this is your second show there, but with that, like, you kind of get the gist of, like, who the normies are, and what the typical crowd size is, and this is impressive, and you know that also, like, Gwendolyn's posters probably brought a lot of new people here, so with that, and the fact that this is, like, y'all are making a staple at Smash Pods to be like, this is our place, we play here once a week, like we burn the spot, like you can see that that's picking up a lot of traction. Yvonne also catches your eyes as you enter, and this is just as the song is ending, and he says, all right, this is our last one, we're gonna be playing Feast and Famine. And you also know that Feast and Famine is a song that you barely play in, that it's a pretty like just background role of that. He doesn't look pleased when he sees you, but they start getting ready to play that song. So what do you do?
You're like bloody, right? Like you
Oh, yeah.
beat
I
up,
look
like
pretty rough.
You look really rough.
I should have some
Okay.
acid on me. I guess I'll like run up there and pull out my guitar and be like, "Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Let's do this thing."
Mystique, the bassist, just glares over her very sharp tabaxi eyes, just kind of slint in, and for a moment before she gets ready to like pluck her strings, you can see like her claws just kind of seep out for a second, and she brings them back in, and then she like starts to play the very calm and slow introduction that she has for the song before I think Kenny starts to drum in as well, and you just assume in and get into your spot as well. Go ahead and make a performance check as you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How much space is there between the stage and the people? Like, would there be room for some like pyrotechnics?
Enough that you can start it and maybe make some room for it.
Okay.
So, sure.
18.
Okay, great. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
enough for say a burning crab carcass.
And I will say
behind
too,
it,
if you do like a 4 or less on the Arcana check,
I'm gonna start a fire.
no, you might hurt somebody.
Oh no.
But here's the risk that you take for actually making rolls rather than saying.
Hey.
So, but 4 or less. What's your Arcana bonus anyway?
5.
Then see, I even risked it. So just don't roll a 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's back from the dead and ready
11.
for. There you go. Okay, cool.
So hard to mount.
So, Misery, you start to strum in, and you feel very confident and comfortable with the background music that you do provide to the song. And every once in a while, you add some different like licks and stuff that bring one part of the song into other things. But overall, you kind of keep this background roll as it is your part of that song. And as this is the last song of the band plays, like people are throwing some coins up towards the stage, and Yvonne does like close the show out and say like the crowd's been wonderful and this has been such a great time, and he thanks everybody for being out, and the crowd's response to their music has been extremely positive. The whole crowd has been won over by what they've been doing. After that song ends, Mystique immediately like sets her instrument down to the side of the wall, walks over, not even looking at you, but heading towards more of the bar situation where Kellen and a blonde waitress that you have not seen there before are kind of tending the bar and taking care of some things. But you just get this like sharp elbow into the ribs as Mystique walks by, and she says like, "Thanks for showing up, kid," and then heads over to the bar.
Does some of the acid like burn?
You're like,
Did my bones pop out? I'll run up to catch her and just be like, hey, I can explain. Like, literally my friend died and we had to bring her back to life. I fought a troll and I got hurt real bad and it's all kinds of stuff. You know, yeah, you have to grind. Like, I had to make some money, you know, you gotta do your job. This band is great, but you gotta be on your grind, you gotta do the stuff, and the day job, and things, and come on, like, give me a break here.
She was like kind of walked away by the time you finished it, but you can hear her trail off and just like tell it to Yvonne, and she just shakes her head, sits off and orders her a drink at the bar.
Alright, I tell it to Yvonne.
When you do catch up to him, and he's like collecting some of the coins off of the ground, putting them off into a little side pouch, and then you and him make eye contact, and you can see that the way that his eyes are dilated, and there's a little bit of a streak of like bluish gray in them as well. You have seen him be under the influence of a drug called Whisper, and so he clearly has been doing that tonight as well. So with that, you know that he's kind of just in that way. And so when you go up and explain stuff to him, he also like barely even addresses you with a word, just kind of shaking his head and says, "Don't even care what happened, man. We had a great night." And then he heads off to go join Mystique.
Wow. I guess I won't go talk to them anymore. And I'll go to Thule.
He says misery to no one.
Like, I'm a sisser.
Julie, what would you be doing? You, of course, you added some flair to the song and did give them a pretty powerful end to a show that seems to go really great.
I would have done it specifically during Misery's parts.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, and the crowd did positively respond to him, and they did like what he was doing and what you were doing.
Okay, I would have been following him in these interactions. Did any of them say thank you for the pyrotechnics or anything like that?
I don't think they knew that it was you.
No, they didn't see me.
I don't see the woman with her head on
Were you,
fire.
wait, were you doing it with your own hand? I imagine that you were like kind of doing it distantly as like part of by the stage, but I guess if you were doing it like dancing by the stage with your own hands, like
This is like turning in circles.
Fire dancer.
I pictured crouching down in front and going out to the side like this.
Oh, okay,
And
okay,
it's
okay.
going- So like in a dramatic fashion, like
yeah. No, they haven't really noticed you like after the show to like address that, but like you know they did notice that you were doing it. They just haven't had the space to like interact with you over it, if that makes sense. So if you would like to, you could go over and specifically talk to them or get their attention, but they just didn't seek you out after the show.
Go near them and clear your throat.
Okay, that's exactly
Just
what
go
I'm
near them and be like,
That's exactly what I'm gonna try.
Seriously.
I'm gonna do it. Would I have noticed the drug eyes?
drill
Yeah,
that.
you two haven't interacted
Okay.
for you to notice. So.
I'm gonna. I guess maybe when Misery goes over to talk to Yvonne, I'm gonna try and go up to Mystique. And I feel bad because this was my fault that you were trying to save me from being dead. And so I'm gonna do just that and go up to Mystique and
Okay.
go and kind of stand with I'm gonna lean on the bar next to her and go,
Oh, hey.
Hey,
Dancing girl.
that's me.
You having a good
Friends
time?
call me Thule.
Thule. Great. I'm glad you enjoyed the show.
I really did, friend.
Wow. Friend.
Yeah, I saw you at your last one too. Do you enjoy our music?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I love all of your songs.
Yeah.
Looks up her song.
Especially.
Take some time, but yeah, which one's your favorite?
My absolute favorite song. I'm looking for the one that Misery has. So
Oh, these songs.
is Tortured Soul. I've seen it where Yvonne has the solo. I gotta tell you, I really like it when that Misery guy has the song. Yeah. Y'all make a persuasion. Guys, you gotta know, Thule has a -3 charisma.
However, you're a great note taker, and you knew the name of the song. I'll give you advantage.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Benevolent demons.
Okay.
Inspiration.
It's the least you can do after murdering you.
Yeah, exactly.
If it wasn't an actual name of the song, but
I
sounded
think
like
it's
it.
called Death Toll Extravaganza.
Okay, you
It's
said
called
persuasion check.
Dead.
I love when you play Wonderwall.
Okay, 14.
Amazing Grace.
Okay.
And then 14.
Okay, great. No, the DC was going to be 12
nice.
for that as well, so you're good on that. Yeah, he's got talent, but we were really surprised he wasn't there tonight. He came to rehearsal, but just didn't really show up for the show.
Okay. Listen, Mystique, right? I feel like we have gotten to know each other. We've had kind of a moment here. We bonded. I'm gonna go with you. Have you ever died before?
You lost me.
You're just 1 minute you're out walking in the woods, not a care in the world. The next minute, a giant venom troll has you wrapped in its arms, and you're 5 minutes later, you're dead. You know what I mean?
Sounds like a really cool song that we could write.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, let's stick a pin in that. That would be like.
We'll circle back.
That would be totes awesome.
I fell into the
Venom troll.
pit. Also came into the pit.
Are we like riffing? Mystique and I are like riffing.
They're writing the song.
No, that's Dan doing that.
Okay. And I
Sadly, it's just me.
well, I mean, we could even say based on real events because, girl, that happened to me. Girl. Less than 6 hours ago, almost exactly 6 hours ago. And the only reason that I'm here to applaud for your show, which is one of my favorite things to do, and do pyrotechnics for y'all is because of, and I turn over to Misery, that guy right
This is really crazy.
there. I know.
I don't even know what to say right now.
Listen.
Welcome back.
You don't even have to say anything. Do you want a hug?
Let's just do a shot.
Okay.
And then she raises a hand up, and the blonde waitress walks on over and says, "Hi there. I don't think we've met." And then looks over. What's your name?
It's Thule. I work here. At least I used to. May not anymore, judging by the fact that you now work here. What's your name?
I'm Stacy.
Wow. I love that name.
Yeah. I think I replaced you.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah. You know what? And he looks over at Mystique and looks at you. It's just because this one's on me. What were y'all drinking? And then Mystique says, I want a hard feta shot. And she's like, got it. Okay. She steps away for a moment.
Thule, completely unfazed by being replaced, goes, "All right, Stacy." I'll be over to my closet to get my stuff later.
It's under the bar.
Okay, even better.
I'll be under the bar later to get my stuff.
Here. And then she comes back with a couple of shot glasses and she says, to your story?
To misery.
To misery. And then they take a shot, which Yvonne then walks over because he was done with that conversation. Just went by. And you catch Tully's eyes as she smiles towards you and takes a shot with Mystique.
Wow. Hey.
Hey, friend.
Yeah, I was gonna go to Tully to get away from it, but what are you doing with Mystique here?
Taking shots?
Alright, you know what, I'll take one. Just forget all this.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Absolutely. Hey, Stacy.
Yeah.
You may recognize Misery here.
I'm with the band.
He's with the band. He would also like a shot. You didn't replace him, but you did replace me, but you didn't replace him. I'll just say that.
Okay. That'll be 3 silver apiece.
For the people you replaced.
Oh.
For this one.
Sure.
Are you paying that?
You don't have any money, do you? You were dead.
No,
Cicero's gone.
I feel like you could pull that one and be like, did you know I died?
I died.
Stacey, have you ever died before?
Yeah, I got this one.
Okay.
You've been through a lot today.
3 apiece, though?
Misery's made of money.
It's the nicest thing Misery's ever done.
Yeah. Okay, great. So yeah, for 6 silver, you both take another shot. Well, you take your second, and Misery take your first. Yvonne sitting up against the bar as you two take your shot and is over and Mystique leans over to him and you can just hear the tail end of like, hey, just let it easy on him this time. And Yvonne looks over and then just looks back into his drink and just shrugs it off. Doesn't really engage her in the conversation, but seems to have lost some hostility.
Tully leans over to Misery and goes like,
You got me.
I got you, fam.
Anything else that y'all want to do on Smashbots?
Get wasted? No.
We're too poor.
No.
I did my stuff.
Okay. So yeah, as you
I don't even say anything.
You need a plan for life.
There is a moment of just like awkward eye contact where Kellen sees you and
No, that's not true. I'm gonna go over to Kellen and I'm gonna say,
No, that's not true.
Helen, have you ever died?
he's When did you die? I'm gonna go over to Kellen and like, I'm sure he's super busy in the middle. I'm gonna like elbow my way through and oblivious to how busy he is, grab his hands and be like, Kellen, it was a crazy ride. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. Like, not even commenting on the fact that Stacy is back. It's like, I will talk up Smashbots to all of my many, many friends.
and with that, like you were holding his hand as he was about to serve some people some drinks and stuff, but then as you were talking to him, he hears everything that you say, he turns to the people he was serving and he says, actually, just give me 1 minute, I'll finish up with you in a second. And he turns like full attention over to you and he just like stop the work that he's doing. It's great to see you. Did I push you away? Did I do something that...
Oh, Kellen. No. And Tully's actually like immediately close to tears, but from the concept of Kellen.
Yeah.
She's like, so it never occurred to her that he would be hurt because she's, you know, and she's kind of like pulls back a little bit and says, oh, Kellen, no, I'm so sorry. You know, in retrospect, I'm so sorry, I didn't explain. I died earlier, and so that's been a whole thing. And I actually found a group of friends who kind of needed me to join their crew, and so I've been hired by them. You know, I messed this all up. I'm so sorry, Kellen. This is kind of the next step in my career. You've been great. I have nothing but great things to say. I'm so sorry. I would love to actually come work a shift for you for free over the next month or so to make it up to you. Can I do that, Kellen?
No, don't. I don't even... What? If you need to come back to clear this up at a time that's not tonight, we can, but just...
Okay.
I don't... You're good, I guess.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
You too,
Please.
Kellen.
Okay.
I'll be
Alright.
back probably.
What did you order again? He heads off to go help those people he was trying to earlier. Okay, so I think that wraps up Smash Pods greatly. Where do y'all head after Smash Pods?
Oh yeah.
We told him to meet us, or I said meet us here, but I guess. Do you think we would guess they're at the park?
Yeah, that's totally easy. Yeah.
Easy park.
Okay.
Easy
Little drunk,
park.
little tipsy.
Yes. Yeah. In y'all's, well, you are. He had one shot. So I think he's in it.
2 shots really just put you over the edge.
I mean,
3 sheets to the wind, Tulio.
2 shots.
2 shots to the wind.
Shots to the wind.
All right. So yeah, y'all having your tranquil moment. You're patching up. You're doing some individual time, and then eventually you can hear Misery and Thule kind of loudly talking to each other about everything that just happened.
Bing bong, bing bong.
Talk.
Classic talking noises.
Talking noises.
But then that one note, and then that other note.
Yeah. That
What would the half dozen to do with the rest of their time tonight?
Probably getting an egg carton.
Really good. I mean, Pilgrim is pretty done with the day.
I'm done with today too.
Yeah.
As we all are.
Friends, it was, if memory serves, our time at the Elisa Regional is up. We can certainly pay to stay there again. We did just leave an opulent home, but I imagine Misery that would be.
We can't go back. I'm sorry.
They were so nice.
You don't know them like I do.
If it would not be offensive to you all, I think I might head back to the Cozy Cots for a night alone to think through all that has transpired today.
I can offer, kind of. I saw Grenjin yesterday?
Yeah.
Saw Grenjin yesterday. And I'm sure he wouldn't mind us staying with him, though there's not nearly as much room as the Burness estate. We could all manage, I'm sure, with some cots on the floor. He's got some chairs.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask my bandmates if I could stay with
I
them.
have a bed, and it would be free of charge.
I saw this guy yesterday. He would be fine if we stayed in his home.
No, I stayed with him for a long amount of time. His wife died. With him. I just saw him again yesterday, and he missed me.
How much is a night at the Elisa Regional again? I have that in my notes.
Yeah. I think for like 2 people to a room, it was like 3 or 4 silver a night. So that could be split, and for 6 people, yeah, it would be about like a gold and 12. That's a nice shot.
Yeah.
Fancy shop.
Or we could stay at Grenjin's for free.
Yeah.
Or we could stay at the Cozy Cots.
Not for free.
Very good.
How much is a night at the Cozy Cots, bro?
That's a wonderful question.
Yeah, that is like, we're looking real cheap. Like, it's probably like 5 copper a person. Which actually kind of works out to be the same in the sense of like the privacy of the room versus like what one person is charged.
It costs 1 hug.
What?
1 hug.
One story about have you ever been dead before?
Yeah.
Well, Loreleth, if you believe that this Grinjan companion of yours would be willing to have you, along with 5 strangers, stay in his home, this seems like perhaps our best bet. I am interested in the quickest option, for I am quite ready.
I can sleep anywhere.
He's not far from here,
I'll sleep on the
right?
floor.
Am I pulling this out of my butt? Okay.
Actually, it's very close, yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Lead the way, Loreleth.
To Grenjin's.
Well, let's ask our new friend,
Yeah.
Ellen.
Oh.
Do you live here? Do you have a place to stay?
I'm just a wanderer.
Oh my gosh, you're a wanderer. So, have you ever even been here before? Oh wow. So you need a place to stay?
I'm fine being outside. If this Grinjin character has a backyard, that will do just fine.
There you go. I bet you have a backyard.
I think you'll get along with Grungeon just fine. Don't you worry. He's got bread for us all.
No cake.
Okay.
No, he finished it.
Yeah.
He ate that whole cake himself. Here we go.
Okay, so you're headed to Grungeon's house.
Hip hip.
Gringen. Okay.
A Gringen.
Hip hip. Okay.
So, sticking to the east side of town, you all get to a very simple one-floor house. That as you enter, you hear the obvious sounds of life and snoring.
Thank you.
To let you know that Grungeon is still
Obvious
alive.
life sounds.
Thank you. Last time you said it's silent.
Yes, he sleeps so loudly now.
He's an old man. Dan, it was warranted to be concerned.
Yes, for sure. Between breaths even, you hear the nasal, and then the I'm alive! But yes, you can see the dying embers of a fire that once lived in the living room.
So much life in this
But,
world.
it is a little bit chilly as the fire is dying, but you could rekindle the fire and set up the living space here, roll out some cots, and just have a wonderful sleepover at Casa Grungeon, and hope that he's okay with it.
Yeah.
It'll be like when Scissor's house is done.
And so we kind of like crack the door open.
Oh God, I hope Scissor will come.
And I shh. And I like turn around to everyone and I'm like, shh. It sounds like he's sleeping. He's easily startled.
He does sound alive, that's for sure.
That's true. So we can all roll out some cots. There's 2 chairs here. I'll tend to the fire. Is there a backyard? Does he have a backyard? No.
Not even close.
Like nobody on the side of town.
I was gonna say,
property.
he has a very small home,
but-
but enough for 5 people to lay out sleeping arrangements.
If you wanted to roll out the cot outside, like next to the house, you could.
In the front.
Yeah, does
But
he have, like,
But
a
you would just
tree?
be like on the street
There's no trees in the earlier space.
in an alley.
Were you some kind of...
This is near a fire. It's warm inside.
Yeah. I'd say I'd join them. I feel
Okay.
comfortable enough with
Yeah.
them.
Okay.
Great.
So, rest comes very easy to everybody, even though you were cots on the wooden floor. This day has been hard and very tiring. And so, with that, sleep comes easy,
The longest of rests.
and long rest. And let's level up to level 5.
Oh my gosh!
So, this will involve rolling some hit dice, which we'll do twice. We're going to just customize health as well. So we're going to start with just health in general. If you could, get your hit die for your particular class. For Gwendolyn, Barbarian is a D12. For everybody except Thule, it's a D8. And then for Thule, it's a D6.
I have a D5.
I don't do any of this, do I?
A D5?
No, I have a D10.
D5?
A D10?
For your
That's
hit
right,
dice?
you do have a D10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I don't do any of this since I'm 5 already.
Yeah. What?
Oh, bummer. I was just asking for.
And then you can also adjust your class level to 5. But
It's 10.
what you will do is you will roll that die twice, since we're leveling up twice from 3 to 5. And then you will also add your Constitution modifier twice.
That's good. 6. Dang it.
Which would
That's
be
10?
the +2.
Yes.
Not the +1.
Yeah.
Where do you see your hit dice?
Yours is a D6, so you can just do that, yeah.
We add the 2 numbers together?
Add the 2 numbers together, then look at your Constitution modifier and add that twice, which yours is a -1, so you're going to subtract 2.
D8 twice,
Great.
minus Constitution.
Is 11?
I got 10.
Plus Constitution,
It's
plus
13.
hers is just negative.
Oh no.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
you can re-roll the 1.
Oh yay. Okay, 3.
Dude.
Okay. So 5 plus, what's your Constitution modifier?
+3, so 6.
Can't do it.
Yeah, so then you click your max health and just increase whatever your number is by 11.
Gotcha.
My heart is
Laura, what did you roll?
I can't really do
10.
anything.
10 total?
Horrible.
Is that already minus the...
Yeah.
Okay, so your max health should be 27?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I rolled a 7, and then my Constitution.
7 was the 2 added together.
7 was the 2 added together,
Okay.
and then Constitution is +1, so 8.
Did you do that twice though? Yeah, the Constitution modifier twice.
So 9.
Alright, one's for each level since we're doing 2 at the same time.
I see.
Great. Misery?
What's up?
What would you roll?
I got total 10.
Okay, and what's your max health now?
32.
Okay, and Gwendolyn.
I got only 13 total. But it puts me up to
51 max health. Then you can also change your actual level to 5, which should give you, you can now add some stats too. That's your level 4. And so what you can do is you can add 2 to one stat or 1 to one stat and 1 to another. And for every time you hit an even number in the actual stat, that's when your modifier goes up. So 10 is +0, 12 is +1, 14 is +2, things like that. So if that helps you decide which stats to increase, every time you get them up to an even number, your modifier goes up.
Oh, we add one to the base number itself.
Yes.
Is this different from what D&D Beyond would be doing for us?
No, it should be part of your leveling up. There would be something that's like, I forget what it's called.
First, you have to pick ability score improvement instead of a feat. I mean, I don't know if you want to do that. And then you just pick the thing. It'll do it by 1. That's what you get anyway. And you can pick the same thing for both. Is how you do 2.
Yep.
So I did dexterity. I'm going from 15 to 16. So now my modifier is +3 instead of +2.
Yep.
But if I was going from 14 to 15, it wouldn't change it.
And then also, if you're a spellcaster, you would be able to add some new spells, except for tooling. You get more spell slots, but you don't learn new spells through doing this.
Is
I have a
like an
couple-
attack twice?
You now can get your extra attack.
We decided that I cannot long rest and study a spell at the same time, right?
Correct. Yeah. But if you did have some downtime to do that, well, you sleep for no, you just trance. But
I meditate, but I don't know that I could.
Right. Yeah.
Study.
But yeah, if you had some actual downtime to sit and study and stuff, but you could do the reading of the spell and copying it over. You just need more paper as well at this point. You still need more paper and ink to put in your spellbook. Any other questions about leveling up right now?
Well, don't think so.
I want an opinion on abilities versus feet, but I know I have to pick that myself.
So do I re-roll the abilities that I decided to go up in? No.
No, they just increase flat.
Got it.
Now I only have a +0 to dexterity.
Nice.
I'm sorry, which one affects our class? Is that dexterity?
Dexterity and Constitution for a barbarian. And Constitution also would increase your max health by a ton.
Okay, so doing one each to those would make more sense than dex and
Depends. What is your current Dexterity score and Constitution score?
15 or 14.
15 and what?
14.
Okay, so whatever one is 15, if you increased it by 1, that would increase your modifier. Your Constitution, you'd have to increase it by 2 because they only actually affect anything on the even numbers.
Oh, that's why if I picked Constitution as one of my things, that's why it didn't change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if it stayed at an odd number when you did that, you'd have to add an additional 1 for it to actually move up.
Which we could.
Yeah, so yours is 8 right now, you'd have to add 2, and then that would actually, at level 5, if you got your Constitution up to 0, so it actually would end up adding 5 max health to your max health. Rather than it being at that -5, you would then move up to +5.
Can I change my spells at any time? Like, get rid of one? And
I think bards can, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in general.
So should I not pick Constitution as the one that I'm...
You can, yeah, no, it's totally up to you.
But if I pick only one, then it doesn't adjust my score?
If you did 1 and 1, okay, here's the thing. So, like, your strength is at 0. If you added 2 to strength, you can get your strength up to +1. If you added 2 to dexterity, you get your dexterity to a +2. You'd have to do 2 to constitution, do the same. Your intelligence is at 15, so if you added 1 to that, it would move up to +3. And you could add 1 to your charisma, and that would also increase each one because they're both at odds.
Okay.
Your wisdom is at 12, so you'd have to do 2 to that one. So either do 2 to one of those that are at an even number to get that up, or you could do intelligence and charisma, and that would get both up 1.
Okay. I did dexterity, and it moved that one up,
Yep.
right?
So your armor class might increase, and that also increases your like stealth and other dexterity.
And then I should do either charisma or intelligence, is that what you said? Or charisma and or strength?
You'd have to do dexterity twice for that to increase.
Oh.
Because it's at an even number.
Oh.
Any other leveling up questions I can help with?
Intelligence is mine, right?
Your main one for spells and stuff, yeah.
I question is, why is True Strike so bad?
It is pretty abysmal. Probably the worst spell anyone can take.
So in summary, it's best to turn odd numbers into even numbers.
Yeah.
If I was going to modify Constitution, would I do that before or after I rolled my hit die?
You can do it after.
Okay, so that might change things.
Yeah, if you do that after, we'll just add 5 to your max health.
Okay. 5?
Yep, it's weird. It actually goes back to all the levels you had before as well.
Oh.
Yes, so that plus and that additional 1 you get would be retroactively added to every level you had before.
I see.
Yep.
That's nice.
Everyone also able to see some abilities that you get at level 5.
Yes.
I have uncanny dodge now.
That's so good.
I have a second attack.
That is good.
Extra attack, uncanny dodge. You can do that every single turn. Just half the damage of something. It's wild.
Already are.
Yeah, you get an extra attack. Misery, what do you, does your bardic inspiration go up?
I get it back on short rest.
That's great. Okay. And then Tuli, you get some more spells, more spell slots, and once you do get to, I think you have Polymorph as a spell that you can copy, and I think that's a 3rd level spell. So once you do get that copied over, you can use that spell, which is really great.
Nice.
Cool. So the night is pretty sound for everybody. Too tired to even dream. But what does wake you up is the sound of, oh my gosh! What is her?
Sorry, man. I'm already awake because I don't have to sleep long.
True.
And so maybe could I hear him as he was like getting up?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I catch him at the door?
Yes.
Okay. Up to his bedroom and be like, hey. Good morning.
Hey. Laura.
It's Laura, not Tabitha.
Hi. We're there. Thank you for that.
Sorry. Some friends of mine and I stayed here for the night because it was free. Is that okay? We didn't have to give any coin for it.
That's so good to hear. Who are your friends?
I turn around and I gesture at them and say, here they are. Do you want me to introduce you to them?
When they wake up, it's fine.
Okay, great. Oh, I made another friend. And I like, to Wolfie. And he like, pats him.
Oh. Wow.
And I like look at Wolfie and kind of like give him a nudge to like be nice to Grenjan.
Oh. And he reaches out and he starts petting Wolfie. And he's just like, this is cool.
Guess what else he can do?
I don't know.
He can breathe fire.
What? Just blow his mind. What has now become the most eventful morning Grenjan has ever had in his entire life.
A lot has happened since I saw you yesterday. Thanks for letting us stay here.
And he's very excited and very animated as you describe as much as you want to describe of your friends and what you all have experienced and all of that. He does head over towards getting some pans and stuff and then rekindles the fire and starts cooking some eggs and gets some breakfast going and continues to look over and count. And then by the time everyone else wakes up, you do have a very welcoming breakfast laid out with little bowls of like eggs and some dried jerky set up. And each one of you has like a bowl sitting next to your bedroll as you wake up.
That's the best. He knows I don't eat meat though, so he left jerky off my plate, right?
Oh, for sure. You've got like all the bread that you ever wanted to eat.
As far as the eye can see.
Grenjan, I must say, on behalf of all 6 of us, thank you so much for letting us stay here. I know that you did it without knowing, but we appreciate it nonetheless, and also appreciate the food. Thank you for making this food for us. I knew that you would be a welcoming place for us to stay. These are my friends.
You all are, any family of Lorelith's will be family of mine. That is great.
They're friends.
Friends are not welcome. All of you can.
I make the distinction that we're not family, we're friends.
That is a lie. As you do all wake up, have your breakfast, and just have some time to feel sore and notice what parts of your muscles are very tense and hurt from the night before, the day before as well.
Do I still know? I know my, well, obviously it hasn't been long, but I still know my way and I'm comfortable enough moving around and stuff here, right?
Yeah.
I think that I would probably like set up a pot of tea or something over the fire for everybody / for Grinjan.
Yes. Yeah.
So I do that.
Cool. Yes.
Wolfie's laying down.
So Lorelith is pretty hospitable and helpful in taking care of getting some people a drink, as well as taking care of some serving out of the breakfast and all of that too. And Grinjan helps like clean up and take care of making sure the bowls get washed up in a giant cauldron that he has with some water, and takes care of the food scraps. But yes, you all wake up to some sore muscles. The night got pretty cool as the fire died out, and some tense spots and pain and hurt. But you stretch that out, kind of wake up and loosen up a bit. It's a little bit later than you would normally wake up with how exhausted you all were, but a little bit before midday, you all get started and head out of Grinjan's estate.
That's so nice of you to say. Does anything else happen before we leave him?
It's up to you all.
You seem like you're going to say something.
Not to him. I was just going to turn to Thule and say, Thule, are you still feeling well? Are you feeling better? How are you doing?
Tule's still very groggy, but she says, I think I feel great. How are you?
I am doing well, given the circumstances of how our adventure went. There were many twists and turns, with quite a climactic ending. Lots to unravel. My mind and my thoughts are mainly with these broken containers we found in the laboratory. I would like to speak with Ferigrand about what we found.
Tula kind of pulls her pack around, and it's like still got a ton of stuff in it that she pilfered from the lab, and says, yeah, I would love to take some time and investigate just, like what this is. And also, I have a question. So, what are we going to do about most of this goes to Rickledar, right? What's our plan?
Remind me, and I know you've got the contract pulled out, but I think your contract is inaccurate because it doesn't reflect the negotiations.
Right.
It says 40%, but I think you all got it down to 30%.
30, was it 33?
If you want to amend it.
Yeah.
I think, yes,
Slower. That's just a one in a house.
the
He's gone.
the rate for the jobs that he provides were down to 33% instead of 40, and then was it the same for jobs you all get, or did both drop?
Let's see.
I feel like this is where I maybe didn't take the most notes. I
Sure.
have rate to go from 25% to 33% after we earn 100 gold per hour, which means we're 150 gold towards the service cabin to be built in 2 weeks by contractors.
Okay. With that,
Rachel
you're-
might have better notes.
I think that, yeah, once you all provide 100 gold worth of stuff to him, then the percentages drop
To 25.
to 25% all around the board.
Oh, yeah.
So you all would have to give him 100 gold worth of stuff before that happens.
So I was gonna say, well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to get all of this appraised by Ferigrand and then take it to Rickledar.
Agree with that.
Do you know what I mean? We need to stop in to see him about the stone anyway. And could we say this morning that we would have caught Felon up on the stone and kind of our adventures up to this point?
Is that something the party would all want to do?
No.
But the world has secrecy, so I mean,
I forget
Tuli would want to do?
what Tuli would do. I guess Lorelith would have stopped her mid-conversation.
I mean,
She would not have mentioned Severin at all. Savarin, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
She would have just mentioned, broad strokes, Tuli would say. So we've been working for this magical dwarf. His name is Rickledar, and we have a contract. You do not. Interesting loophole here.
So if we give you all of them,
let's take another pin in that. What led us to him is we found this magical stone that Pilgrim can really speak more to this. He's kind of like the purple stone guy, but
It's a husk stone.
husks.
Oh, husk.
Thanos? Is that
But we found a stone that has a being that we think is evil, that tried to convince us to take him in the stone to the lake and drop him in the lake. And then we got attacked by a bunch of crabs, yada yada yada. And all this to say, we took the stone to a magic user named Ferigrand, who is super cool, super powerful. And he took the stone to kind of just look it over and see what he thought. And then, meanwhile, Rickledar, our patron, gave us a mission out to this lab past the forest, where we found a ton of stuff. And she kind of shakes her bag. We basically ransacked the place. Cicero met his dad. There was a giant flying lion. Anyway, it's a long story. We walked back through the forest, got attacked by the troll, and you are now up to speed. So, all this to say, I suppose you could call it our kind of just like in life, our main quest in life is to figure out what's going on with this stone and this crazy monster inside of it. One could say. And on the side, get paid by Rickledar.
Okay.
Basically 33% of anything we find, we have to take to him. Supposedly.
33.
Yeah.
I have to ask. I know we haven't talked much,
Yeah.
but we bonded over throwing stones. I'm a fan of that. How did you come to be here and in the woods? What are you doing? What's up with you?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Like, do you want to join us? Were you just like strolling along?
I guess at this point, Thelen feels comfortable enough because of everything that we've been through that I'm fine with, or not fine with, as if something was wrong. That I will tell you guys, I guess, more of a backstory on how I got to the net that I was trapped in. I came from a tribe of shifters. It was called Iskrid, and I just made my way down into the forest because it was surprisingly getting colder than we'd been used to, and even though I spend most of my nights outside, I'm not the biggest fan of the cold. I always have a fire going when possible. And I spent some time in the woods, but they were different than when I had last been there. There was a lot more snow at this time of year that I wasn't expecting. And while I was wandering through the woods, I actually found a very weird thing as I came upon it. It was seemed like an abandoned village of tree houses that were very well built, but I could tell that they were aged. And I approached them cautiously because that's just kind of how I am. I'm very in tune with nature and my surroundings. And I felt like it was safe for me to stay there for a little bit. Me and Oba got kind of comfortable in the trees. I'd learned some of the hunting and gathering areas around there. And then I felt like it was time for me to move on. I'm not the type of person who stays somewhere for too long. As I was leaving, I came across some cloaked people who didn't see me, thankfully, but they were wearing kind of blue and whitish cloaks that had snowflakes on them, and I kind of put two and two together and figured that maybe they were the reason for it being as cold as it was this time of year. And so after kind of scrounging around in the tree houses, found some random tools and some other things and a diary, and put that in my bag and left. And that was when I got caught up in the trees and you guys found me.
How long ago did you leave Ferigrand?
I have no idea.
It's entirely up to you. When would you have left, and just like how much time you spent on your own?
Probably a year ago.
Okay.
And I only stayed in the tree houses for a couple of weeks.
Oh, I'm from there too.
Really?
Yeah. But
When did you leave?
Did you guys go to the same elementary school?
we both had Mrs. Hudson.
Mrs. Hudson! I love Mrs. Hudson!
A few months ago, my last name's Stone. Do you have a last name? Not everyone does there. It's okay.
I don't have a last name.
Okay. Do you know anybody with the last name Stone?
The Stones sound familiar, but I kept to myself. My family definitely didn't. They weren't as introverted or natural as I was, but
Sure.
They may know someone.
Interesting.
I have to ask, do you still have that diary with you?
Yeah, it's in my bag.
May I see it?
Why would you like to see it?
Well, I came from some tree houses that were down south.
Really?
Yes, I am a wood elf, as you may or may not realize. And I lived in tree houses down south for a very, very long time, about 300 years, by myself.
To like chokes.
300.
And just recently came to Populous because it got very cold there. And there are some remnants of my family in those tree houses, so I would be curious to see if it's something I recognized or if you just happened upon a different set of tree houses, which is also possible.
There was a name inside of it, Lynn Gracie Purelight. Do you know who that is?
You do. I haven't said it.
I do? I was like,
Yeah.
no.
You recognize the Pure Light family name, which they were like the most devout in leading your like clan and your people of like some pocket followers of this deity named, if I could pull that up, where'd it go?
Cold man.
We're actually all siblings. That's what's happening right now.
Snow miser.
We're all related.
I'm trying to remember exactly which. I'm being dumb. Valessa, yes, of course. And so this god was meant to be the creator god of the entire world. And though you had no interest in hearing or learning about this god, you know that this family was a very devout and spiritual family with that.
Do they have a different language than I do? Like, can I read the diary?
Some of it, yeah.
Elvish.
It comes in and out of Elvish.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I pull it out and gesture it to you and say, besides the name, I couldn't make out anything.
Sorry, I was trying to remember what my own last name is. I don't say that out loud. Within table talk. What was their name? What was their last name?
Pure Light.
Pure Light.
Pure Light.
Yeah. I've actually, you handed it to her, you said? Alright, I've added the diary to your player folder.
Heck yeah.
So, you have that as well.
Okay.
Wait, like, actually?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, being the DM, man, it's real fun.
That's super cool.
I will look into this more. I had a lot of thoughts and ideas about the Pure Light family and their connection to deities, and it getting very cold. And it sounds like the cloaked people maybe a part of it as well. I'm from the Pinewind family. I don't know if you recognized that name in the diary at all.
No.
But, because they probably didn't talk about us, no, yeah. They're too good for us. But yeah, that's very interesting. Those tree houses, I'm very fond of them and would like to go back to them one day, hopefully when it's not as cold.
They seemed like they had a great history.
They did. Okay, moving on. That was fun. Now what are we doing?
Standing out front of Grenjan's house.
Great.
Standing out front of Grangen's house, singing about
So, Felon, all that being said, this is what we're doing now. Would you like to join us? Are you just passing through?
I'll say I have nowhere else to be.
Okay.
5 isn't half dozen, so we need him.
Right. Well, to Ferigrand's?
Please.
Standing outside Grangen's house, gonna
As-
go to
as-
Ferigrand.
Whoa. Amazing.
House.
As Tully's walking, she's kind of says, she like turned her pack to the front to like gesture how much it was, and she just hasn't shifted it back, so she's carrying it like this through the street.
That's the cool one.
And yeah, and she says, Tully was homeschooled, so she knows. She says to Loreleth and to Felon, she said, interesting, does she recognize anything about anything related to spell, weather magic, anything that could give any sort of hint that could guide them in a question to ask the Ferigrand?
Yeah, okay. So, make a religion check for me.
Oh dear.
And the only reason I'm letting you make this religion check is because of the academy that you went to when you were growing up, and that you may have picked up on something like this.
Okay.
It's gonna be kind of hard. Oh, gee, there it is. Okay, I was just gonna say it's gonna be kind of hard. It's gonna be a 15. What you are picking up on in this is that there was a study from where you're from, and some people who related the following of gods and the beliefs of who gods are, and if they had like support and connection of people to weather, that certain gods and their lands and terrain and things that have been given to them by this name Valessa, this god that you also just think of from these studies as well. When she gave over power to different gods over the world, that the land was shaped and the climate was formed also within their power. So when you hear about this like weather changing magic stuff, then you know that it's some type of like weird relationship between people and followers and faith and whatever god or deity or being that they believe in, that there is some type of intrinsic relationship between faith and the weather patterns of the world.
Huh. Do you know what just occurred to me, guys? I think that there might be some intrinsic relationship between faith and the weather of the world.
Julie,
What?
I don't often say this, but I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Julie goes,
Wow. And I felt this way for a long time.
interesting. Do you have any idea Thelen, does that ring any bells that maybe someone in the area started worshiping a new deity or something like that?
Real quick, before you do answer, this is something I haven't really shared to either of you much, but being from Iskrid, both of you know that it's part of Iskrid's history that the worship of a false god, or one that was claiming or trying to become a god, had changed the weather near Iskrid and caused it to be really icy and cold at some point in its history. That being was shut down before y'all were even born, but it's still a story that was told that like one of the reasons why it is so cold and icy in the area that y'all had come from was in relationship to a being that tried to become a god.
But that being is no longer.
Right.
Okay. It wouldn't surprise me. The cultist people, as they appeared, seemed to be worshipping something, and based off of the clothing they were wearing, seemed to be some sort of something relating to ice. So wouldn't surprise me.
Huh. Well,
You were
just a
singing
theory.
Go like on the
Wow. Well, just a theory. Maybe if they stopped worshiping the god, the weather would go back to normal. Just a theory. I wonder if Ferigrand would have any thoughts.
I feel the same way. So there's that.
Many thoughts will be exchanged at Ferigrand, I'm sure. Perhaps I can patch things up with what seemed to be a lovely woman. We simply didn't have time for in that moment.
Don't let Martha know you feel that way.
Martha.
And then we go to that place, the brass door.
Oh god. Great. So crossing town, heading into over the main road through the markets, where at this point in the day people have started to set up shop. You can smell people who are cooking like fish and rice dishes, as well as peddlers trying to sell little trinkets and necklaces and little stone pieces, or like wooden shoes and things like that, just trying to be pushed out in the markets. And you head over through that back to the west quarter, or east quarter. I always do that. And crossing the road, getting into the rich side of town, and heading into the Brass Star, you see the welcoming face of Ferigrand at the desk this time. And as you enter in, it is this time of day empty in the shop, which is a little surprising, but also people don't make a regular occurrence to buy from a really expensive enchanter every single day. So people, friends, the half dozen. -1+1, I see, but we have maintained our 6, a value I know you will hold very deeply.
Ferigrand, have you met the full half dozen before? For we are minus, of course, Cicero. So
I don't know if I've ever been here.
Welcome everyone to the Brass Star. This is Ferigrand. He is a talented magical user. He has been the caretaker of the stone while we have been away. And
a great smile and a slow, subtle wave. Long black hair braided down, and he's wearing a very ostentatious purple robe and a goatee that's finely kept down to a good point. And he's just so smiley and happy to see you.
Ferigrand, if we could perhaps return to the more private version of this establishment, we have many things that we learned in our last 48 hours or so.
I died.
Oh, the otherworldly one bringing such wonderful tales and stories to the desk, I see. So, well, of course, let me just take care. We'll shut the shop down, and he walks towards the door and shuts it, turns the sign over to close, and waves his wand that he pulls out, and securely locks the door, heads back into the shop, which he then fades back into.
Like that.
For our podcast listeners, Sally just raised a pen to Stephen Simmons' throat.
My friend Thaui killed me.
He turns the shop back. To a wonderful meeting place.
Oh my god. Oh.
Welcome, Michael.
And he says, well, so quick to business then. I would love to update you all first to say that I met with Rickledog yesterday, and we have come to terms. We've come to terms, and we have an agreement for me to be your exclusive magic salesman, and also that he has provided 500 gold credits to the shop.
Oh!
you all would get to.
That's Tully's real name.
Would you care to discuss sales and business first, or what you would like to update me on?
Tobin does a slow look around the room. See if anyone's got anything they gotta say.
Is there a table in this room?
Like what kind? What do you?
Tully wants to take her backpack and go.
Yes. Yeah, there is a table.
Oh, dump everything else.
Yes.
I thought you were walking it.
Tully.
Bag.
She would do that.
We're gone. We're done.
Okay,
We're done.
so as Ferigrand has turned the shop into this kind of meeting space again, using magic that, Michael has not seen before. So Ferigrand, the first time that they met, and what he's doing again now is he pulls out this wand that when you see this magical shop with all of these different like components and elements and things that they use to cast spells, beyond the counter you can see different like cloaks and bracers and boots and magical objects that have been enchanted, and when he pulls his wand up he twists it, and then this like almost fabric of what you have seen behind the counter twists and becomes like a handkerchief that he then stows into his pocket, and as the reality of the room kind of shifts into this new space that is now seats around the fire, that he manipulates the room in a way that can shift it from one purpose to another. And so now in this meeting space, Tully, seeing a countertop, it dumps out what comes out to be like 4 silver bars and 2 gold bars, and your ring catches your attention, which even as you look down on it, and you didn't know that it had shattered in the first place, but when you look down now, where there was 1 diamond piece is now 2 smaller diamond pieces that are threaded together on the ring. Your own necklace that you wear, as well as other little the sheets of paper that you collected with spells.
I think I found like a book or something, or maybe it was the sheets of paper.
You collect a lot of different writings and sheets of paper.
Good job.
While she's doing that, in a neater pile on the end of the table, I set down as my records show, I had 4 silver bars, I had 2 gold bars, and then I have my little vial of blue liquid.
Oh yeah.
So I think you had bars.
Okay.
So much money.
Yeah.
I stacked the bars while she's just dumping everything.
Bars.
Yeah, it's in the blue liquid that you picked up as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have the necklace of the shallows.
Yes.
And which I think was a Patreon.
Michael's Patreon created.
But you did the shallows of the ring.
You did the shallows.
The shallows. So we know that.
A necklace that purifies water and also lets people drink water, or drink water and breathe water.
God,
now we can drink water.
Oh my God!
It's been a long road.
This is technology. Whoa.
Very cool.
Well, yes, Ferigrand, we found all of that. And also, I do believe we found the body that once housed the entity that is within the husk stone I left you.
Fascinating. It has been asking for you as well. So.
Love to hear it.
Yes. So, then, are we discussing information or discussing business first? Purchases, items?
Wow, discussing information sounds super boring.
I am
Let's
curious.
discuss some information.
Do you feel you've made any headway with the husk stone? Did you learn more about its motivations, its character?
As I tried to probe deeper, it insisted that it talk to the wanderer, the far traveler, the one that spoke to it first. It had said, he goes by Pilgrim, but I know him by Nemo.
Oh no! Finding Nemo! What?
Is your dad's name Marlon?
Wait. What?
Are one of your hands smaller than the other?
Do you know Dory?
Is this your real name?
Or one of your hands smaller?
I think Pilgrim literally just kind of did that, just like
With his eyes?
wide-eyed, like down on the floor.
Pilgrim, did you touch the butt?
Nemo never touches the butt.
Nemo's swimming out to sea! He did touch the butt.
I'm actually gonna reply by not answering any of the things that he just said. I'm gonna say the tube. We found a tube. It had a creature floating within that was by my estimates, free of spirit. I believe the spirit of this creature is what is in this husk stone. In my previous conversations with the husk stone, it mentioned being reunited with a brother. Beside this tube with the floating, soulless body was a broken tube. And we shortly after found a aquatic passageway that led directly to the lake. So I believe that this brother, the Huskstone spirit seeks to be reunited with, wishes to be reconnected with whatever creature now lives within the lake.
Yeah. Also, my new companion here, and I gesture to Wolfie, was also there, and we bonded.
One of many elemental creatures we found.
He can breathe fire.
Now that is rather fascinating.
We killed him.
Would you mind if we demonstrate for you? And I gesture for him to put out the fire that's in the fireplace. There's a fireplace, right?
Yes.
Can you put out fire with fire?
Sure, if you would like to. And the fire's out.
And then I kind of gesture to Wolfie. And he
Okay.
goes,
Wolfie settles over and breathes fire into it.
reignites.
So cool.
This is my party trick now.
A creature I'm sure Munkin would love to get his hands on and get to see exactly what is happening there.
Okay.
Well, it seems we have quite a bit to chat about then. And to quote our good friend Misery, all of this information a little bit boring when compared to golds and magic. So maybe we handle business first, and we can pick up next time with what you all intend to purchase from his shop. I will quick drop some of the items that will be available, but then we can actually talk about them and go through them next time.
Can I ask a quick question about
sure.
the gold? How much is the bar?
You don't know yet.
We don't know.
Yes.
Okay, we'll find
but
out.
she can help appraise and talk about that. But items that he's going to offer and you all can think about going forward is going to be, there are bracers of archery. These, when worn, will add 2 damage to any time you use a short bow or a long bow. Bracers of archery, you add 2 damage if you're wearing them.
You do archery.
The cost is 150 gold. Boots of elven kind, when you make steps, it makes no sound, you get advantage on stealth. The cost of those will be 150 gold. A cloak of protection, it'll add 1 to your armor class, and all of your saving throws get a +1 as well. That costs 150 gold.
We all have bad armor.
Yes. An item called a drift globe, which can create different variations of light and then also hover around you, and you can kind of control it telepathically. And then gloves of swimming and climbing, which both increase your ability to swim and climb at a particular speed and help you make different skill checks while underwater or climbing. Those will cost 75 gold. And then an item called a luck stone, which increases all of your skill checks +1 and I think saving throws as well. That costs 150 gold. And then also magical paper and magical ink if needed by other people. Lots of potential, lots of things that y'all can think about. But with those things in the shop and ready to go, we shall now conclude episode 24.
Wow!
Farewell.